All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Traversing the Veil. Yes, this is a series that's been on hiatus for like a month and a half or 2 months now, because we were missing a few people, and we wanted everything to be cool, and we are back. Hooray!
You miss us?
You may notice we have a very full cast. We have absolutely everyone here. So we should be able to have a fair amount of fun. Quick announcements. I'm going to announce this everywhere I possibly can, because I am massively proud of it. I started a new TJ and Friends series on my YouTube channel where I play Solasta, Crown of the Magister, which is a new, effectively a new D&D CRPG that just came out of early access, and it is so much fun. I have the 3 other characters with me are I have my friend Elias, who Day knows, Chax, and Ilea. All 3 of them are from Realms of the Wild. And yeah, it is such a fun game. I've had such a blast doing it. So I'm really excited for everyone to see this as a series. So go to my YouTube channel. The first episode's a little bit longer, but they tend to be right around like 25-30 minutes. So they're nice and easy to digest, and they're fun. And I put a lot of work into it, so go watch it. Other than that, does anyone have any announcements for cool things they're doing?
Enjoy the start of Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yep, Pride Month!
We support rainbows.
Yes. And because I didn't mention it during it, last month was Mental Health Awareness Month. So, yay for people with mental disorders like me. We support them too.
For awareness.
Mental health and awareness for all bitches and bros and non-binary hoes.
And
My fiance just yelled, "Hell yeah!" down the hallway.
anyway, so I think it's time to return to Traversing the Veil. The party's been through some interesting encounters. Karen found some clues to hopefully help her find some lost crewmates. And on the way to discover more about them, they met 2 new people. Zarian and his warforged pal, Lucky. Zarian, being a rather gifted cartographer, offered to sign on to the crew with Lucky to help them find this place in the Southern Outlands, an unmapped, unknown part beyond the control of the sovereignty. As they were traveling, they suddenly came into rather unexpected bad weather, and started hearing a voice in their head, convincing them to abandon their ship. As things got worse, soon strange protrusions started coming out of a veil. The ship was rocking and getting struck by bolts of lightning, and then everything went black. When they awoke, they were on a strange island. All of their weapons and casting foci were seemingly missing. But as they ventured out of the wooded area they awoken, they found an agrarian society there, who seemed very happy to see them and almost acted as if they were expected. But something was off about this society. Everyone was nice, everyone was kind and loving. They even gave you your own house to live in. But your ship was be nowhere to be found. Your weapons and casting supplies were nowhere to be found, and something seemed wrong to all of you. Having explored the town a little and discovered some upsetting things, like the fact that all of your rooms in your new house have locks that lock from the outside. And the windmill, which provides the water for the town, is guarded day and night with armed guards. You know something's up, but you're not quite sure what. And that's where we'll just jump back in. Karen, real quick, don't forget to log into Roll20. Because there's a map and everything there, so you can see where we are. And we have the chat in there if you guys need to say anything to me without the audience seeing, or if you want to whisper questions to the DM so the other players don't know what you're asking me. All that can be done in Roll20.
I remember correctly, we were just finished eating in the central area, and I had headed back early.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we left off. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, from my recollection, you guys had a meal in the local tavern / meeting hall, which is this building right here. Your guys' new house is this one, I think.
Yep.
You guys had just finished a meal there, which, unlike a normal to the tavern, which would have, an eating area and a bar, and then there would be rooms, and then rooms on the upper level as well. The entire lower level is open. There's a kitchen in the center that's open air, and then everything else is just open with the tables, except at the very center there is a dais with a single long table on it, where Eden, the leader of these people, and a few other people eat, which generally has guards near it to encourage people not to bother them. The other the things you guys have done thus far, down here is the temple where they worship the island itself, because it gives them bounty, and it gives them all their food and nutrients and sustenance and the things like that. Even the relatively small amount of forest around the edge of the island will regularly have wildlife there that they can hunt, which they just attribute to the island providing for them. But the woods themselves are nowhere near large enough to sustain a population of wildlife for hunting. So there is something.
Don't they also go to the smaller islands?
Yes, there are a few other kind of small islands outside that they have a couple very small ships that they go out when there isn't quite enough game in the forest to feed the entire town. But
it's still a little suspicious.
Yeah. And they acknowledge that. They know that's, again, it's one of the reasons they worship the island.
Mm.
And I'm assuming, like, in the last session that, like, you guys tried asking them questions and they just didn't have answers? Or has that not happened yet?
Eden sat them down and had them ask questions during the last session. And most of the questions involved, okay, so where are we? And right. The answer is they don't know. They're somewhere in the Vale, but there's a couple heavily wooded islands close enough that they can go hunting on, and beyond that is just open Vale. They have no idea where the sovereignty is in relation to them. Everyone that has ever arrived here has woken up in the forest without their weapons.
Ah, okay.
Or magical items thereof.
Or magic items.
Anything that you have that's magical or a potion, you don't have.
Also, apparently, if you cast spells on the island, it exhausts you like twice as much.
Yeah. So casting magic in general is a much more strenuous activity than most. So while it's not illegal to use magic in the village, it's generally kind of looked down upon as kind of a backwards way to do things, and a little bit insulting to the island itself that you would try to manipulate nature when it has already done it for you.
But Eden has no problem counterspelling.
Yes, Eden has magical abilities.
Oh, and our memories are effed.
Yep.
Yeah, the other thing, the past roughly about 1.5 to 2 years for most of you, you can't remember. You know what happened. It's not like a complete blank, but anytime you try to remember specifics like the name of your ship
Okay.
or things like that, it's just fuzz.
We know we were crew members, but we cannot remember anything specifically of the details thereof. I think we have different levels of memory. Like, my memory goes back to Vox's Landing.
Mm.
I think everyone else has slightly different memory, but it's definitely...
Yeah, for the
Pre-ship.
most part, at least a year, maybe 1.5 years of memory is missing. Some of you are a little longer, some slightly shorter. And they asked about that as well, and it's typical for people to show up here. Some people regain most of their memories. Most people will always have a little bit of a gap from before they arrived on the island and joined the village. And
Some people are just happy to be here.
Yeah, everyone you've talked to so far has been very happy, very...
Not a cult.
Yeah, it's totally not a cult. They said so. So
That
Yeah.
must be true.
It is a very, very Wicker Man vibe in this place.
Someone's
yeah,
gonna come out. Someone's gonna come out with a helmet and bees. I'm telling you.
and they
Not the bees.
they effectively told you, you know what? Take a day or two, relax. We know this is really jarring. We understand you're gonna have a lot of questions. Ask your questions. We just ask that keep your magic usage to a minimum. Obviously, if you're very used to using your magic, we're not going to tell you don't use it. It's just, if you want to use your magic, just do it away from people for right now. You will eventually get used to the idea that you don't really need it. They have everything you need here, so magic is kind of a luxury.
And so far, our one ace in the hole so far seems to be Zarian, because they didn't understand what an artificer is.
Yeah, so Zarian actually can cast spells with material components because
He has his tools.
he currently still has his tools, which are his spellcasting focus.
We're trying to put together back his Steel Defender.
Yeah, his Steel Defender is in pieces.
How we finished that after the meal? Like, I went back early to finish that, I thought.
You were working on it. I think I've said this before. It's probably going to take at least another day-ish if everything goes well. Because while you're putting it together, the magic you use to power it and fuse it and put everything together is just not working the way it's supposed to. So you're doing everything right. Normally you could do it in, like an hour or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
But this time, every time you do what should work, it doesn't. So you're making progress, but probably not until tomorrow would it be finished.
Okay.
So, with that...
And stream skipped a little bit. Okay. I wasn't, so we came back and, oh God, what's your Steel Defender's name? I blanked.
Gerald.
Is there anything we can do to help in the process, like a team effort on giving them a jump start?
I mean, if you have a background in engineering, then sure.
I was thinking more like literal jump start. Like it'll take some effort, but I know. Don't two of us have shocking hands? I wouldn't know that. I can do shocking grasp. I don't know anyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, he's more powered by, I guess, in a way, what powers you. That helps.
He's powered by.
It's kind of a mixture of mechanical and magic.
I was gonna say contempt.
I mean, if he had feelings, maybe.
Well, if it
Well,
helps at all, I could play a little ditty to maybe set the mood to kind of get you some good vibes to help you with your repairs.
I can lift things.
I mean, normally it's done lickety split, but this place, I don't like it.
And well, I still gotta
It's
work
not
on a way to get the stuff together to get Spitwit back.
Hey, you're all preaching to the choir here. There is something very odd. We see guards at that windmill. Did we see guards anywhere else in this village?
I don't think so.
They were kind of vague on the temple. Like kind of like insert deity here. There was no details.
I mean, they say they give thanks to the island, but that really is like no difference from like saying normal villagers giving thanks for like a bountiful harvest or something. Though they did seem to say it a little bit much.
Like
Well,
they were being like brainwashed.
Are we in our house right now?
Currently, yes, you're all in
Okay.
your house.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, we were like
No,
having
you
this
guys are
conversation
just-
outside the house.
Talking out to the side. There's
Like
people
still
that
in
are,
the mess hall?
We're right in front of the windmill.
yeah.
Pass the
The guards
potatoes,
are-
please. So
the
this
g-
place is screwed.
The guards are sitting there going, "We're right here."
We're right here.
No, you guys are currently in your home. As you're having this conversation, you suddenly hear this.
Oh, where that could be.
Oh,
I'll go answer the door.
As you open the door, you see a younger woman, maybe in her early to the 20s, dressed in a kind of plain dress with a smock on it, and standing next to her is a slightly older gentleman, maybe late 20s, early to the 30s, and they're both, and again, he's wearing kind of work style clothes. And they both are just kind of sitting there smiling, and you notice the woman has something baked in her hands that you don't quite recognize. She goes, "Hi."
oh God, the neighbors are coming with their food.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, I'm Martha, and this is my husband Oren. We just wanted to say we're so happy that you're here. It's been about 4 years since we both arrived, and we know how jarring it is, and how kind of isolated you can feel. So I make this wonderful bunt cake, and I just wanted to give you some. If you don't like it, it's perfectly fine. But I thought you might enjoy it, and you and your friends can just eat it and relax. And then you see the guy kind of reach behind his back, and he brings out this very, very dark bottle, and this is something we've been saving for a special occasion. And so many of you showed up. We were found with this bottle of wine. It's probably about a 50-year-old vintage, and we just
vintage,
wanted to,
you say?
we just wanted you to have it and enjoy it. Just something to take the edge off of just how awkward it feels right now. We understand that you must be very confused, and we just want to make you feel welcome.
I don't feel like we can take that from you. You've
Oh,
been
no,
saving
but
it for
please.
yourselves.
Please, we have everything we need here, and to be honest, we've been trying to find a way and a reason to open this, just to kind of close that part of our life, because we'd been hanging on to it for so long, and really just inviting new people here. It just seemed like the right time. So
Do
please,
you happen to
please.
remember the memories tied to this fine vintage?
No, we think. Well, when we woke up, apparently this doesn't tend to happen to most, but when we woke up, we were holding hands, and we.
Could I do an insight check specifically on the part where he said that they woke up on the island with the wine?
Sure.
I want to see if he's actually telling the truth, that they
Yeah.
came to the island with the wine, or if the wine was provided by the island.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and make your insight check.
Okay, that is an 18.
Okay. Looking them over, the thing that you notice first, especially for you, one of the things you will look for without thinking are tells. With your history, you're very used to having people tell you things to make you do things, and you're very used to being lied to. Aristocracies and high society are full of lies.
Oh, the worst.
So you're looking for tells, and you do it subconsciously. And something about this conversation was really bothering you, and so you started focusing and actually actively looking for tells. And the thing that was bothering you that you didn't understand why, they don't have any tells. Normal conversation is full of lies, and as far as you can tell, they haven't told a single lie. They haven't said anything that you might consider manipulative or slightly untruthful, or maybe just polite lying to make you feel better. As far as you can tell, everything they've said is 100% honest, which is not a conversation you have ever had with any living being.
No micro expressions.
Nothing. No micro expressions. No, and it's not even physical things. You're going over in the back of your head their word choice. You're looking at where their eyes are looking at. Like, this is something you do, and nothing. You've never met someone this honest in your entire life.
I compose myself, and I step up next to the captain, and I specifically, graciously take the bottle of wine from, what was the man's name again?
Before that, let me finish
sorry.
what they were saying, because you were reading them while they were speaking, which is a good time to read.
Right. Sorry.
So let me go ahead and finish. They go, we woke up and we were holding hands, and we looked down and we saw her wedding ring and my band, and well, we think we just got married, but before we were brought to the island. We think we were probably on our honeymoon, and this must have been a gift from someone. So. And they both, like, as they say that, they both kind of grip each other's hands a little tighter, and they smile at each other. And so now you to take the bottle and say what you're going to say. You are muted.
Sorry. I wanted to pay attention, so I was focused. I step up next to the captain, and I'm just going for the wine, not the bunt cake here. And I put on my best smile, and I go, well, first off, thank you so much for thinking about us. I mean, it is absolutely true. We have never been here before. We have no clue what's going on. It is probably going to be a few more days before me and my compatriots are going to be a little more, shall we say, sociable with everyone here. But all we ask is for your patience. I'm sure that we'll get along just fine. And might I just say, this is a wonderful vintage. And then as I turn around to face everyone else in the crowd, I instantly drop the smile, and I'm like, and I just kind of mouth to them like, we'll talk later.
And as you do that, they just smile even brighter. They don't seem to even try to see if you're concealing anything. They go, Well, Martha just speaks up again. Well, we're gonna go back home. We if you'd like to visit us, we actually live at the end of this street. If you just follow the street to the very end, we're the last house on the left. In front of this is a silo. It's so great that you're here, and I promise nothing we can say is going to make this feel less awkward, but it'll get better. All right, we're living proof of that. Okay. Have a good night.
I'll take the cake from her.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they leave. Well, I will remind everyone what Lucky figured out last time. That
What did I do?
he has a sense for picking up, I don't know, picking up things that aren't, picking up bad things.
Oh, you
And-
want to talk about bad
down.
things?
Down.
And I start picking things up off the ground.
To fill the day in, he used Lucky's a paladin, and he used sense evil. Was
Line
it?
sense?
Divine sense.
Divine sense, and I think it was like 20 or 30 feet below your house. He sensed desecrated areas.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Well, the other fine point about the windmill is that windmill is incredibly big.
Yeah, it's by far the tallest. It's close to, I think, 200 feet to the tall.
Which means it also would have to go incredibly deep.
Yeah, that windmill has way more pomp and circumstance than any other building
Oh, yeah.
in this place. While this is going on, I take that wine, I rush to like the far corner of the house, I set it down, and I instantly back away from it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it-
I'm gonna put. I don't trust this cake either. I'm gonna put it down somewhere and
All
buy
right,
it suspiciously.
all right. I'm telling you all this right now. The people here are freaky.
Yeah.
Beyond all
I
nature.
know.
No,
Someone is.
No. It's worse than that. Okay, look. People lie. They all have little mannerisms. They all
Eh?
have these little things that kind of give away their true personalities.
Yeah, I can tell you're full of crap just looking at you.
Well, that was a given. You know me for years. We already knew that about me.
No.
But here's the thing.
Go on.
These people, they have no personality. They have no mannerisms, no tails, nothing in their speech, no little, like, twitch of the eyebrows, no blink of the eyes, no little twinge of the side of the mouth. They have nothing. They are literally blank boards with a face.
I have an experiment we should try.
I'm all
Well-
for it.
What kind?
Not now, because it's late, but tomorrow when we're walking around, say something offhand to somebody and see if we hear about what you said from someone on the other side of the village. 'Cause I'm thinking, what if they're all connected like a hive mind?
You want to play the whisper game?
I'm thinking it's just so unnatural here that if something's controlling them, it's controlling all of them. You say something to one, they all know. That's my theory.
I mean, small town life.
Sorry, that's just really true.
You ever lived in a cul-de-sac, buddy? I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not from here.
I also wonder, have you asked about the locks on the outsides of the doors?
Oh, I busted my door down. I don't trust that. So I don't have a door on my room.
I'm literally standing there holding the door.
I was
Yeah.
I was planning on turning that door and some more metal into a makeshift crossbow, so I'm not defenseless here.
Or
Because I don't know where mine went. Mine didn't even
I
have
just-
a string, so
I just wonder what if we asked why that's a thing, if they would, what they would say, like the excuse or the reason or something.
Yeah,
Well, their
something
excuse
tells
for
me
everything seems to be vague.
Mm-hmm.
And something tells me if we ever tried to pry in too deeply, they're going to possibly, like, just avoid the question and possibly just laugh us off as newbies here.
I can tell you one thing we're gonna have to do is investigate that friggin' windmill.
Okay, yeah, that windmill. That is not a normal windmill. No, windmills do not get that tall. And why is it guarded?
Yeah, we're all on the same page. It's not a normal windmill.
Although I will say the gods guarding it were very nice.
Yeah, like everyone
Let's
else.
keep it that way.
No.
These people are very nice. Maybe there's a way we can use that to our advantage.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
the whole tabula rasa thing might actually work in our favor.
Breaking character for a moment. What the hell are you talking about?
Tabula rasa, blank slate.
Thanks, Slate.
Oh,
Oh.
It's a psychological theory kind of thing.
They're all nice and trusting and accommodating.
So we're basically going to be doing what the guy did in Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, where he pretends to be the zombies and they all just ignore him.
I'm just gonna start trying to repair my companion.
Mhm.
It's taking a lot longer than normal, so I'll be up in my room, and if you see a bunch of flashing lights, that's completely normal. And I'll start heading up the stairs.
Check to see if there are curtains in your room. You might want to close those.
Yeah, overall, the house itself has a front kind of sitting room. It's got 3 rooms or 2 rooms on the main floor, and then it has an upstairs with an additional 4 rooms for you all. And then in the back of the house is a kitchen and dinette. All of it completely furnished. There's a nice cooking fire there. There's tables and chairs and everything. You have a little porch with some furniture on it. Like, it's just really nice, kind of rustic place.
Did anything seem off about the food we ate? Are they
Did
gonna
we eat
brainwash us?
It was.
It was incredibly delicious.
Here we go. Some background music. The food itself was literally farm to table. Like, they grow it on the west side of the island, and so most of you guys have again, living in the sovereignty. All the food is grown on islands in the northern part of the sovereignty and then shipped off everywhere. So you generally have not had food this fresh and that. So you all were kind of surprised at just how much flavor there was. And it was a lot of vegetables. There was meat as well, but just everything was more flavorful than you were expecting.
Sure. Okay. Well, if anyone starts feeling funny, say something.
I mean, I have a perfect memory and I can't remember things. I think that's funny.
Yeah,
Wow,
that is
I
weird.
mean, in more of a brainwashing capacity of than already established.
I think interesting question is we're going to have to rely on each other, because otherwise how are we going to know we're feeling brainwashed?
Oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute. I know of a way. Do all of us have like a piece of parchment on us and some writing utensils?
You're joking, right?
As long as it's not...
I'll just come downstairs with a bag full of unused parchment that I use for maps.
All right, perfect. Everyone, take a piece of parchment, take a quill or whatever you got needed. Just start writing down anything and everything you can remember. Keep it on your person at all times. If you feel like something's going on, you just read it.
okay.
And keep it hidden.
All right.
Hey,
Should we all do like an insight check to see how much we remember?
I won't make you roll for it. Like I
thank
said,
God.
for most of you guys, Karen, your last really good memories are of hiring Reggie. That's your last kind of clear memories. Everything after that is just about gone. Aoi, your last memories are back when you were in school. I can't remember who joined the crew first, Reggie or Sissa Smegwick?
Reggie was first, and then kind of Reggie recruited me.
Yeah. Okay. So Reggie, your last good memories are right before you joined the crew, and Smegwick, your last good memories are from your journeying before you got to where you met Reggie. I won't go into any more details than that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know. Good memories in quotation marks, Jody.
Yeah. And then Zarian and Lucky, both of your memories start at about the same place, which is a few days after Zarian, or your last good memories are a few days after Zarian found you, Lucky, and you were traveling back to the two Psychocali. Or the Skywell, sorry, not Cyclically. Is that good for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. As it starts to get to the darker, you guys start seeing some rain clouds come in, and it starts to rain a little bit. Kind of a nice, soft, relaxing rain. And Karen, you're. Do you want a room on the bottom floor, or do you want one of the second story rooms?
The bottom floor is fine.
Okay. So you're in your room, which is on the east side of the building. You have a window that looks out on this road over here, and you can see the windmill in the distance. And as you're there and you're writing down the stuff that you can remember, that you care to remember, you see people kind of walking through the rain a bit. And out of the corner of your eye, you see something that just kind of catches. And you look, and one of the people that's kind of walking in the rain very quickly to get to their home looks incredibly familiar to you.
Ooh.
And you
Yeah, 'cause-
Okay.
Sorry, I want to say minor point. We don't remember the reason why we came to the island either, right?
Right.
No, you don't. And as you're sitting there and you're looking, you're trying to figure out where you know this person from. And right as they turn around, or turn a corner to where you can't see them anymore, you instantly recognize them. They were on your ship. That's one of your shipmates.
Right. So, but wait, okay. So when you said my memory of hiring Reggie, so I remember hiring Reggie and everything before that, or hiring
Yes.
Reggie and everything after that?
Everything before hiring Reggie.
Before, okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. Great. Is anyone near me?
You're all in your own rooms right now. With you
looking
being
out
on
the
the
window?
bottom floor, there's one room that's across the hall from you, and then everyone else is up Sissa stairs.
Okay. I'll just, and they were going into their house?
They were, if you look at the map, they're walking here, and they turned the corner over here to go behind this house here. Do you see where I'm clicking?
No, because for some reason all of our names and pictures are in the middle of my screen and I can't move them, and they're covering the map.
Cool.
Oh, if you go down over with the gear, you see the gear?
At the top?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You click on that, because you can't get rid of them completely. And you go all the way down to game settings.
Uh-huh.
It says
Regular.
chat avatars.
Names only. Ah! Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much. I was like, I can't see anything on the map.
So now, a little easier?
Yes, absolutely.
Right,
And
so,
which one, can you click which one we're in? Because I couldn't
so that's
see
your
them.
house right there.
Okay, uh-huh. And
This
yeah,
is the
they're on
big meeting
s-
hall.
Uh-huh,
And
they're
then
on the
your
road.
your room is on the east side, so you were looking here, and you saw the person kind of walking here, and when you finally figured out who they were, they had literally just turned the corner there to go behind this house. So
I'd like to run out in the rain to follow them. I don't want to approach them. I just want to see if I can tell what house they go into.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check. I'll give you advantage because there's a lot. There's rain and everything. You're pretty heavily obscured.
Well, 11.
11, okay. So running out, you kind of burst out of the door. The rest of you guys would have heard her almost break down your front door as she ran out. You go to the nearest house and you kind of slowly ink around. Make me a perception check with a disadvantage due to the rain.
I saw the rains fall down in the sovereignty.
Perception, you said?
Yep.
That would be 13.
13. Okay. So looking around, you're not seeing anyone. By the time you get there, it seems just about everyone has left.
Okay.
And you keep looking, but you notice the guards. There's a third guard by the windmill that you don't remember being there. As you look closer, it's your former shipmate. And you see, he's not really guarding. He's just kind of
one?
No, it's the same one you saw before.
Oh.
And he's just kind of conversing with them. Because of the rain, they're just too far away for you to tell what they're talking about. And then you see them open the door, and he goes in, and they close the door.
What the heck?
Okay. Well then I'll just go back. I'll go back to our place and dry off and remember this information and keep my eyes peeled for other former shipmates as we meet more people.
We'll point out, anyone who's on the second floor will notice that my room is bright as just no darkness whatsoever. There's just light everywhere. And the bright light, flashing lights you occasionally see, I'm holding this weird cylindrical device with a hole on the top that occasionally has this bright light like a welder. It's my version of mending.
He's got the
An
goggles
arc welder.
Pretty much.
Hey, Jody, I would say that because I technically need sleep, I would have myself sitting in a chair posted up in the whatever constitutes as a living room,
Okay.
keeping an eye on the front door.
So you are not going to use the room that's quote unquote available for you?
No,
Okay.
because
cool.
I don't technically need sleep. I just have to be inactive for 6 hours.
Makes sense.
What do you? Oh yeah, you have what's it called? Sentry mode? Is that what's called?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do notice that the outlets here are all European style, and you have American style plugs. So
They didn't have conversion for me at the.
they didn't tell you about it. Like you have a converter to get from 120 to or 220 to 120, but it's a pain in the ass to use. And it doesn't feel the same.
There's no ground. It's just 2 prongs. It's annoying.
Yeah. But other than that, anything else you guys want to do before you go to sleep?
Dry off.
Yeah.
Just doing tinkering.
Cool. So as you all go to sleep, I'll do it this way.
We want to take shifts.
Yeah. Did you guys want to try and have a watch of any sort, or because again, you guys you have a front door that locks, and
From the outside.
it locks from the inside too. There's an additional lock that can be locked from the outside side.
Are they like the same setup of lock where it's like you can unlock it inside and outside, or are they 2 separate units on the
The
door?
outside of the locks for all the doors are hidden. If it had not been for Zarian looking very specifically for it and getting a really high roll for it, that no one would know they exist. They're specifically designed to not be noticeable unless you know where to look. But they are a separate locking mechanism.
Mickey.
All right.
So I'm going to start with Aoi. Why don't you choose even or odd?
Okay.
I was thinking, like, if I'll be more than happy to like take a shift if we are going to switch off.
Yeah. So
Even.
before we do that, do you guys want to set up a watch or anything, or no?
Yeah,
I don't trust this place. Megwin wants to take a watch.
Yeah, I was gonna watch the front door and
Okay.
if anybody wants to join or anything.
So 8 hours
do a watch.
is 4 watches for all of you to still get your long rest. So who's taking first watch?
I'll take first watch and just tinker around with my spells that I'm preparing for the next day.
Okay. This is the second watch.
I'll take second.
Okay. The third watch.
I got it.
All right. Fourth watch.
How do it?
All right. Cool. So we'll go back to Aoi. You chose even, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Karen, even or odd? Day?
Oh, sorry. What?
It's fine. Choose even or odd.
Oh, odd.
All right. Reggie, even or odd? Or actually, no, you don't need to choose. Because of who you are, you don't need to choose.
Oh.
Zarian, even or odd?
Odd.
Okay. Smeg, even or odd?
Odd.
Okay. And Lucky, even or odd?
Steven.
Okay. All right. So, as night falls, first watch, which is Zarian, nothing really happens. You're able to work on your thing. It's perfectly fine. Second watch, which is who? Yeah, Reggie. Yours goes by.
Oh, I thought I was second. Reggie's.
Yeah.
after.
Or not.
Yeah, Smeg was second.
Smeg.
Yeah.
I was looking at you. Smeg. Again, nothing really happens. The rain keeps going. Pretty good. It's not like torrential or like storming, but it's a nice kind of country rain.
The crops.
Comes down. Yeah. Third
Even
watch
the friggin' weather's ideal here.
is Reggie, right?
Yeah, I'm third.
Okay. So, as you're going, I will have Karen and Aoi roll me perception checks with disadvantage. Reggie, you don't need a perception check.
Oh. That's a 2 for me.
All right. You sleep very, very soundly. Very restful sleep.
I love the rain.
5.
5. Okay, you are sleeping very soundly as well. The bed itself, not quite as comfy as some of the beds you had at school, but still very, very nice. Smegwick, Zarian, and Lucky, you guys are all just out like lights. Reggie, as you're on watch, just kind of keeping an eye on the house, you suddenly feel strange, like a small kind of tickling at the base of your skull. And then you hear the sound of locks activating. All at once. I'm assuming you're downstairs, you upstairs when you're...
I am downstairs,
Okay.
and I'm just kind of sitting against the wall with the window right next to the front door, like to my right side, and I'm just kind of glancing at it. The moment I hear that lock, I take a dagger, and I just start to slide
Where'd you
silently.
get a dagger from?
Oh, shit, that's right. We don't have weapons. Damn it. Okay, screw the dagger, but
You
I'm
have
still...
silverware. So if you want to use a relatively dull knife that was already here, you have that.
A knife may not cut it, but do we have forks?
Forks, yes.
Okay, I take a fork, I get up against the wall, and I just start to slowly slide myself along the wall until I can kind of see outside the window.
Okay. as you look outside, it's still raining. There's nothing there. And the weird thing about the locks activating is it was simultaneous. It wasn't like someone went up and turned locks like at the exact same millisecond. The two locks on the rooms closest to you locked audibly. And it wasn't the locks that you guys lock.
Wait, so even the bedroom door is locked?
Yes, all the bedroom doors, all your bedroom doors have a lock for you, so you can have some privacy, and
Right.
they have a lock that is hidden, and those
Yuck.
locks have all just activated.
It's like paranoia wins as I'm free.
Well, about that. Your lock didn't go off, but you are sound enough asleep that go ahead and make me or what's your passive wisdom or passive passive perception? Sorry.
I believe since I'm asleep, it has a -5, right?
Yep.
So then that'd be 8.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So as you are sleeping, you don't hear movement in your room. But Reggie, being downstairs, you hear the almost imperceptible. And what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 13.
Yeah, that's good enough. You hear an almost imperceptible groan as the floor creaks from up the stairs. Now, you've been on watch. Here, your front door is locked from both the inside and the outside currently. No one has come through that door. There are no other entrances to this house. But someone is moving around upstairs.
I slowly make my way upstairs, brandishing that fork.
Okay, make me a stealth check.
Stealth. All right.
I will remind Zarian sleeps with several nightlights, so his room is always lit up.
Stealth is 14.
Okay.
I probably would have joined him too.
Since you are technically offline, unless he specifically woke you up, you're unaware that anything is going on. That was what the even or odd was, is whether or not you were conscious enough to recognize the lock. And thus
Because, okay.
Yeah. Again, if someone had moved past you, I probably would have had you roll or something for it. But the lock is such a tiny sound, and with the rain and everything, unless you were actively listening for it, or just happened to be out of REM sleep at that particular spot, which I know you don't have REM sleep, but you wouldn't have noticed it. That's why I had you all choose that. So if he wanted to wake you, he could have, but he hasn't said any of that, and he's been super sneaky. So going up stairs, you make it up without making any sounds. You can see not only the light coming from his room, but shadows moving around. There are multiple people in his room currently.
Okay, shit, but I only have the fork.
Any spells that only take verbal or somatic components, you can still cast. You just can't use anything with material components currently.
I don't really have a lot of stuff that has material components, but...
Well, material comes with a cost.
No, because you don't have...
the focus, that's right.
Yeah, no focus, so anything material components is gone.
Didn't you do something in the first episode with you were looking for a fork?
Yeah, that was hold person, because you need like a small thing of iron in order to use that spell. But unfortunately, I need to be able to like see where I'm casting the spell, and these people sound like they're behind a locked, closed door.
There's
inside...
no door. He took his door off.
Oh, right! There's no door!
That's where you can see the lights. You haven't gotten to the point where you can see into the rubber room, so right now all you can see is shadows moving.
I slowly inch my way forward, and like with my back against the wall, I just kind of look through the doorway.
As you look through, you see 3 cloaked figures, and a 4th very strange-looking figure that it takes you a couple seconds to realize they have picked up his steel defender. And then you see some movements happening. You see a wand making some movements. You feel magic starting to be cast. You recognize a teleportation spell is being cast.
Oh, shit.
You have a split second if there's anything you wanted to try and do.
Okay.
Roll for it, get him.
I got something better that might actually work, because this one could actually work on all of them and not just one of them, because my hold person only works on a single target.
Mm-hmm.
I will
say at this particular point, before the teleportation spell goes off, you have the equivalent of a reaction to react to that. After that's done, you can do whatever you will want.
Okay, so I don't. So then, from a technical standpoint, my original plan was to try and use, because, like, this is Reggie we're talking about. He always has his violin with him, like, no matter what. But I have a feeling I don't have enough time to pull it out, get it ready, because my original plan was to do enthralling performance and try to charm all of them in
I'd
that
say
room.
Because you have your weapon out and the violin itself is very, very valuable. I would say you probably don't have it in a place where you could actively pull it out and use it as a focus.
I thought so. Okay, then if that is the case, since I already have the fork, and it seems the answer is obvious, specifically on the one who's using, like, the wand to cast teleportation. I know we don't have any materials on it, but I do have this fork. Could I try to still use hold person on the guy casting the spell to try to stop him?
You could, because that's an action. You're not going to be able to get it off on him because he's actively leaving. If you had something like counterspell or some other reaction type thing, I'd let you use that.
I really don't.
Which is fine. So as you sit there, you watch as the steel defender and this cloak person vanish. As the other 2 people seem to be picking up his smith's tools and seem to be getting ready to leave as well, but they have not started casting anything.
Okay. This, screw... Okay. So we're in Zarian's room. He's like...
We're outside, barely outside.
I'm saying they're in Zarian's room, not me. I'm still outside, technically. Okay. This is probably a dumb idea, but it has a chance of possibly interrupting these guys. I am technically going to use a free action to speak, but instead of speaking, I'm going to let out the most blood-curdling scream ever to hopefully distract them and wake up everyone else. I know they're all locked in their own rooms, but who knows what's going to happen.
Well, everyone's awake now. You guys hear this blood-curdling scream that jolts all of you immediately out of sleep. You guys get this little burst of adrenaline, and you are instantly conscious and aware of what's going on. Yes.
Is going into a barbarian rage magic?
No, it's not.
I go into a barbarian rage and I smash through my door.
How about
it's a magical experience.
Well, as of right now, none of you know you were locked in your rooms.
Okay, well I go into a barbarian rage and try to leave.
But before we do that, why don't you guys all roll me in an initiative? This isn't combat as much as it is. This is a way for me.
Turn by action.
Yeah.
Since I'm already outside my room and I'm already kind of in the middle of the action, my initiative doesn't get changed or anyway.
Well,
right?
I'll still have you roll initiative. So again, I have it, but your action is going to happen before. Your action is what initiates an initiative. So whatever you're going to do right now, that's going to happen before they get to do anything.
Okay.
Make sense?
Gotcha.
Owie, what you got for me?
11.
11. Cool. Reggie?
9.
9. Cool. Karen?
I also got 11.
Cool. This is Caesarian?
14.
Cool. This is Smegwick?
Dirty 20.
Cool. Lucky.
Nat 2021.
Damn. All right, so we're going to start off with blood-curdling scream from Reggie. You technically, because that's a free action, you technically have your action, bonus action movement, whatever you will want to do. However, the two cloaked figures are very much aware of you at this point. So,
Okay, here's my plan, because we already have the good captain herself bursting out of her room right there with her rage. I'm actually going to take this moment to basically try to step a little bit further away from the doorway. My back is still up against the wall, and I am actually going to hold my attack.
okay.
Because all I got is a fork, which I'm willing to bet, like stat-wise, is like a little bit weaker than a normal dagger. It's a fork.
Yeah, effectively a 1d2 did a
A
damage.
1d2. So basically, what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna wait until I see a cloaked figure like make a movement through the doorway, and then I want to try and take the fork and jam it into his face.
Okay. Anything else? That's your action. Anything with your bonus action or movement?
With my movement was like stepping a little bit away from the doorway a bit.
You have 30 feet of movement. That's a foot. So
Yeah,
if you have more movement, you can.
The way I'm kind of imagining this is like to my left is the stairwell that went downstairs, and to my right is the hallway that leads to all of the other bedrooms. I really don't have anywhere else to go,
That's fine.
so I'm just we're gonna ignore my movement. I'm gonna hold my action until I see one of them poke their heads out through the doorway. Then I'm gonna jam fork in their eye. I don't really have anything for a bonus action, so I'm just gonna skip that, and that's all I'm gonna do.
Excellent. That's going to bring us to Lucky. Lucky, you are awake and aware downstairs.
I'm going to because I know, or I can hear where he was at. I know that he's right outside of Zarian's room, and I bolted. Like I am going full sprint as fast as I can up to his room.
Okay. Reggie, you hear metallic footfalls from downstairs and start slamming their feet up. It takes you about 20 feet of movement to get all the way up to where you can see Reggie, Lucky. And you can see light coming out of Caesarian's room, which you suspect. There are some shadows, but they're not moving anymore. And Reggie has a fork.
I'm not even acknowledging Reggie. I'm running straight into the room.
Okay. As you blow past him, you walk into the room, and there are two cloaked figures there that kind of just stare at you.
When your roommate is RoboCop.
Okay. What do you wanted to do? It took all of your movement to get into the room.
I would like to grapple at least one of them.
Go for it. Go ahead and make a strength athletics check.
What?
Different dice. Natural 20 again for 26.
So as you sit there and you grab one of them, the first thing you notice is trying to hold on to them is really, really hard. You're not sure what these robes are made of, but getting a grip on it is unbelievably difficult. And your hands keep slipping off into the things like that. However, you've got a death grip. So you grab onto one of the robes. You're not able to grab the actual person in the robe, but you do get a death grip on the robe itself. That's your action. Anything else you wanted to do? Theoretically, you can, if you take the attack action, you can replace one of your attacks with a grapple. So either this can be your whole action, or you can still have an attack.
Oh. I would like to punch the other person, please.
Okay, yeah. It's a strength-based attack roll. And you'll do one. If you hit, you'll do 1 plus your strength modifier.
Okay. If I hit, +3.
You're proficient with your own punches.
Yeah, you're always proficient with your unarmed attacks.
Oh, so +6. 19.
19. Yeah, you sit there and you pow. The weirdest thing about it, though, is the way that these hoods are, you can't see their faces at all. And so as you strike, you don't strike the figure, you strike the hood. And as it impacts, your blow kind of slips off a little bit. And you don't seem to make full impact with it. You do hit. Go ahead and roll to the damage.
I do hit, so I want to go ahead and.
Yeah, it's just 1 plus your strength, so there's no real rolling.
Well, I'm going to burn my last spell level for Divine Smite.
Okay, so here's the
Unless
thing.
I don't know how.
No,
I'm
here's the
that
thing
wrong.
with Divine Smite. The way it was designed is you have to make a weapon attack, and unarmed attacks don't count as weapon attacks.
Gotcha.
Unless
Okay.
you're a monk. And in
Gotcha.
very specific instances. So you unfortunately cannot Divine Smite on a punch.
All right, wasn't sure. I just thought I'd throw it out
That's
there.
perfectly fine.
Then it would be 1 plus my strength, so it's 4.
4. So yeah, as you sit there, you're it's almost like you just hit like a gelatinous cube or something at a weird angle. You just kind of slip off. There's impact, and he kind of gets knocked back a little bit, but you don't feel the full weight of the attack hit them for some strange reason.
And so I'll do the punch, and then I'll, using momentum, wrap my arms around this person I'm holding as
Okay.
much as I can.
So yeah, you've got a really good grip on him. With that, we're gonna go to Smegwick.
Okay, now I presume no, Zarian pointed out the hidden lock, so I'm presuming I'm aware of the hidden locks.
Yes, you're aware that they exist. You are not aware
Yeah.
that they are currently active.
Yeah, so I'm like, obviously, first thing I'm doing, jumping out of bed, trying to open the lock, and I'm like,
You're-
what?
You're locked in.
Son of a... And I know it's not my lock.
Yeah, you're like, and there's nothing on this side to pick. Like there's no opening or anything. It's done entirely from the outside. So
So do I know where the hidden lock would be?
Yeah.
On my door.
Mhm.
I know it's not. I know it's not on my side, but I know where it would be, right?
yeah, it's been pointed out to you. You know.
If I can, then I'm just like, because I don't need anything for it, I'll Eldritch Blast where the lock is.
Cool.
It's
yeah.
a cantrip. I don't need anything for it.
Make me an. Well, technically, there are some cantrips that have material components.
It's verbal and somatic.
Cool. Then yeah, make me an attack roll.
Yeah, I think I just want to make double sure. I got 2 beams. Cool. I got 2 attacks. 2 blasts. First attack. Oh, man, 13.
It's a door.
Okay,
Not
well,
a
I didn't
super
know.
high AC, so you did hit.
Okay, so that damage. That's 10 for the first.
Okay. As the first blast hits, you hit exactly where you want to. It blows away some of the wood, and you can see the locking mechanism is made of some sort of. You're not sure, but
I got 2 blasts. I'll blast it.
Yeah, it's remarkably strong.
21.
Definitely hits. Go and roll by the damage again.
Oh, God. That's 7.
7. Yeah, so as you hit it a second time, it looks really beaten. Your door's starting to bulge in a little bit, but it's not completely off. It's not completely broken yet. So you can like look out the sliver of your doorway, but you are still unfortunately locked in.
And my free action is to be like, I'm locked in here. Get me out.
And all of you hear that.
Shenanigans.
Zarian, you wake up and there are 2 figures in front of you, one of which is being manhandled by Lucky.
And they're all chanting the greater good.
You said when we arrived they took all our weapons, correct?
Yes, they took weapons and spellcasting for the foci, except for your smith's tools. You would notice rather quickly these rogue figures have your smith's tools.
Would they have taken either? I'm going to list off things that I have with me: crowbar, my miner pick, or my shovel. Would that still be with me in my room? Those.
The pick theoretically, even though it's not a war pick, could have been a weapon, so that didn't show up with you on the island.
Sorry.
The crowbar they have, the shovel they do not.
Then I am going to instinctually grab my shovel and smack the one that has my tools.
Okay. This is an improvised weapon, which you do not have proficiency in, and it'll be a strength-based attack roll.
If only it was magical and I could use my intelligence. 13 total.
13. So as you sit there and swing, you hit really, really solidly, and then the robes themselves kind of flutter and fold, and nothing. You literally kind of just slicked off of them.
Can I use my second attack to try and remove the hood to see if there's even anyone underneath it?
We'll call that a grapple check. So
Okay.
go ahead and make strength athletics.
I am not proficient. Same exact roll, 13.
Yeah, as you attempt to kind of pry the hood back, the figure just kind of moves and dodges, and you're not able to do anything to the hood. You get a pretty good look, and something about these hoods is they're built in a way to completely obscure the face from any angle.
Sounds familiar.
There are those costumes from Party City. It's all the black fabric.
And I will instinctively holler out to Gerald with my bonus action, which I know won't work because he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that yet.
Roll me a perception check real quick.
Dice likes 12 and 13. 16 total.
Yeah, with a 16, after you make the kind of swing, you get ready to shout for Gerald, you notice Gerald isn't here. His pieces aren't here, and you've gotten him almost to the point of completion. Physically, he's gone.
All right.
With the one in that's being grappled by you, Lila Lucky. You're a paladin. It doesn't show up on your list, but it shows up on some paladin spell list. You hear him start chanting the vocal components of the Misty Step spell. And
Can I cover his mouth?
unfortunately, not with how you have him grappled.
Okay.
And as he finishes it, he's no longer grappled by you, and he's no longer in the house. The other one, similarly chanting Misty Step spell, and is gone.
With the tools or without?
Yep. Unless Zarian, you would recognize Misty Step as well.
I don't have third level spells at this level.
Okay. So they are both gone. It is kind of dark and murky enough that as you guys immediately go to the window, you lose track of them very, very quickly. Seeing as we don't really need initiative right now, Karen, you go to your door, you check it, it's locked, you rage out, and there is a Karen-shaped hole where your door used to be.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you beat me to it.
And you run over to where you see this, you heard the scream, and you see Lucky and Zarian in the room looking kind of dumbfounded, and you see Reggie outside gripping a fork like it did a dagger.
But they're gone.
Yeah, you don't see anyone else is in there.
Okay, well then I guess you'll just heavily breathe and say, "What?"
Cloaks, thieves, friends, get him!
Shall I bust out the front door?
Don't know a lot of good that'll do.
Do you guys want to pursue this, or do you want to wait until morning to investigate? Because we could bust right into that windmill right now, or we could take a more calmer approach.
I will say,
Let me out!
Zarian's room is on the opposite side of the house, so they actually, because they went, you have to have line of sight for Misty Step, so they teleported through his window, and they went off on this direction. So they actually went away from the little windmill.
Yeah, but we could still break into the windmill.
Yeah, definitely. As you guys are all kind of screaming, Owie, you hear a clicking sound, and your door is no longer locked.
What just happened?
Smegwick, you hear a grinding sound, and you watch as your lock attempts to unlock itself, but due to how much damage it's taken, it is inoperable.
God damn it.
The rest of the locks in the house all click off.
Okay, well, I know what to do next to an obstinate lock.
Oh, I think we need to go back to sleep, because tomorrow I'll have my alarms set up that I didn't bring for today.
What's going on? I don't hear nothing now.
It unlocked.
If I can, if I have a chance, I will use Acid Splash.
Yeah,
I know one way to deal with a lock.
It had 3 hit points left, so.
Yeah, I'll just.
Yep. So you're able to get out.
My biggest question is, they obviously know we know something happened, so, we can't just play this off, so, how are we gonna approach this, because I'm ready to just go and rip doors open and find things.
What happened? What happened?
I'll just point to
We
the,
got attacked.
I'll point to the void that is the spot where Gerald was. I mean, the
And then
ironic part
Smegwick
is,
apparently rages without any barbarian levels. Which
You're
is
damn right. This place is pissing me off. They're doing everything they can to keep magic away from us.
the funny thing is, the tools they took, it doesn't even matter, because those were magically created and they'll disappear the second I make another set.
I forgot
they're
you
gonna
could to do that.
They're gonna know something's up. And they took Gerald, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah, but they know we know, so I feel
They-
like we're in trouble and we need to go on the offensive, not the defensive, but that's just my 2 cents, as I'm just, raging in a corner.
I'm assuming we still need more rest for a long rest.
Yes, you haven't gotten your little long rest yet.
I haven't expended any spell slots since I've been here.
I've only expended 1, but that was see invisibility. I suggest we pick this up in the morning and we start taking all the doors down and I start making us weapons. They'll be rudimentary, of course. One of you will have an amazing weapon, but the others won't.
I mean, even with a magic limited hand, probably better with a cantrip, even though it's more effort.
Well, I'm just saying, and I'll point to Karen. I think she'll do a lot better with a weapon.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, on the strong lady and the kid.
I mean, I could crack heads with my hands, but yeah.
Don't worry, Lucky. Tomorrow I'll give you your fun toy back again. I hate this place.
I'm worried about yours.
Yeah, I can make a new one if push comes to shove once we get off this godforsaken island.
Okay.
But for now, I need to go back to sleep so I can get alarms set up.
Smegway's gonna go around to everyone's doors if they want to and say like, acid. I'll just go. I got some rage I want to take out.
I mean, you do you.
I actually like that idea.
So you go around and basically disable all the external locks.
Hidden locks.
Okay, cool. So that takes you another like 20 minutes.
I will make one suggestion. We probably should all be sleeping in the same area. Less sneaky.
All right, let's camp out in the middle.
I hope I'll point to all
Great.
my nightlights. I hope that's not going to be an issue for anyone.
Oh, great. It's a sleepover.
Seems better. This, I mean, it clearly didn't deter the thieves, but
I've slept in worse places.
Abby curls up like a little, cat.
Alright, well, I'm passing back out. I need alarm.
I think
I
Smegway's
go
like
back
there.
to my. Go ahead.
I was saying, like, Smegwick knows the ritual by heart, but he's just, like, goes to his book. Because his book has tons of notes. Nothing in detail or incriminating or specifying of certain people, but he does look at the ritual for summoning familiars, like... I'll get you back, buddy.
Okay. So you guys are all able to get a long rest. For the rest of the night, there's no issues, no problems or anything. When you wake up in the morning, the sun is shining. Because of how close you are to the meeting house, you can already smell fresh bread being baked. You can smell the kind of alluring scent of bacon being cooked and other meats. And by the time you guys are waking up, you can already see there's a few people that are starting to wander into the meeting hall. You guys are by no way late sleepers, but this whole community seems to wake up very, very early.
Smegwick would be no stranger to early morning work.
I will start going through my bags and see if I still have, since they did take my smith tools, see if I still have my cartography tools, my thieves tools, and my calligraphy supplies.
The only things they touched were your smith's tools and your crowbar.
Okay.
And obviously your iron defender.
Okay. I will try and scour the house for as much metal-like materials and wood as I can to fashion at least weapons for our melee characters.
And how are you planning on making weapons? Is
Oh,
it a
that's good.
feature
They
of...
did. No, I need to actually remake my smith's tools, but that'll tip off that I can do that. So I'll wait.
Okay.
I will instead, because why not? I will replace the infusion that was on Lucky's polearm to the shovel and hand him a radiant shovel.
Or
Technically, that infusion only works on things that are listed on the weapons table in the PHB or somewhere else. But because it's hilarious, sure. We will consider it a club.
We have a +1 club of radiantness.
Is that a
Roger
D6?
Rabbit rolls.
Club is D4.
D4? Okay.
Roger Rabbit rolls only because it was funny.
Yeah, right.
Now, Lucky,
Well,
don't let on that that's what that is. Just pretend it's a normal shovel, unless they look specifically, and I'll point out the little mechanical doodad I put in the handle. Unless they find that, they won't know.
Now, is this like a trench shovel, or is this like a medium size? How big is a shovel?
Yeah, it would be like a one-handed trench shovel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Little
I have a
closer
lot
to
of
spade
random-
than a full-on shovel.
Yeah. I have so many random things in my inventory. I'm like, oh yeah, because of my background. All right. So I will begin the process of ritually casting with my thieves' tools alarm for the front door and have it only notify if anyone other than us enters. Mentally,
Gotcha.
of course.
Cool. The rest of you, again, you can smell fresh food being cooked, 50 feet from your front door. And you've been told if you want to join them for morning meal, you can. Otherwise, someone will actually bring you food to the house.
I'd like to go in because I want to look around and see if I recognize more people from my ship.
Sure.
Someone open a door?
And I'll tell them too. I'll tell them that I saw last night in the rain before we went to sleep. I saw someone and I'm certain it was one of my old crewmates from my ship that disappeared, and he walked into the windmill.
It's weird.
Well, I think after breakfast, I'm going to start mapping out this island, because at
Here's
least
the
then
one-
we could plan stuff with a proper map.
Captain, would you be able to pick out a fine former crewmate's face in a crowd?
Yeah, that's why I want to go into the breakfast hall, because I want to see if I can find him or any other of the old crewmates.
Second question: are we confronting anyone about this? Because I believe that Eden's probably gonna be there.
I say we let them approach us about last night, because we don't know who it was. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, for all we know, worst case scenario, if we mention that we're aware of these kind of things, this entire village might rise up in arms against us.
I mean, they've already pretty much they know that someone broke into our home and took shit.
I don't think they do. I think when they locked everyone in, they locked everyone in.
So you think that whoever broke in is separate from whoever runs this island?
I think they're working directly for them, because only
Okay,
a
that's what I
few
thought too.
people actually knew what I could do with those tools, and
Right.
she was one of the higher ups.
I think one thing we can definitely try to confirm. What was the name of that very nice couple that visited us?
Martha. I
Martha.
forgot the other guy's name.
It wasn't Stuart, which
Orin.
upset me. Orin.
Horin, two-syllable.
Oryn.
Martha and Horin. Gotcha.
Oryn. Oryn.
Oh, Orin. Gotcha. One thing, just to be absolutely certain, perhaps one of us should pay a little visit to our dear neighbors, see if they might have the same locks on their house as well.
I mean, I'll do it. I'm gonna draw a map of this place, because they don't know I can do what I do with this little pen, and I'll start flashing my calligraphy pen.
All right, sounds like you're gonna be the fine and fanciful neighbor. Then it sounds like the rest of us will be having breakfast?
Yes,
Having breakfast, and I want to see if I can talk to someone who's in charge of herbs around here. It's a plentiful village. Someone's got to be in charge of
Yeah,
various
someone-
herbs and so forth.
Yeah, someone's doing a good job.
All right. So, do you guys all want to go to breakfast, or Zarian, do you want to head off to the Martha and Oryn's house first?
I'll head to their house, and I'll risk some of the cake that they left, just so I have something in my system before I go.
Okay. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
Ooh.
You do get +4 if you're within 10 feet of me.
Wrong tab. Oh yeah, that was my one-shot character that had the absurd number. That is a 2 total.
Okay. So as you eat it, it's very, very sweet. Almost sickly sweet. And as it goes down, it feels very, very nice. Really, really nice. You get this kind of warming sensation. Your whole body kind of feels warm. You feel very relaxed. You kind of get that food coma vibe starting where you're like,
One bite?
feel really well. You had a little bit, maybe like a single piece. So he had something, is what I got from him. So it's something in his stomach.
Martha tried to knock us the hell out.
So you feel not to the point where you're passing out or anything like that, but you could definitely go for a nap right now.
So I'll essentially, while they're going, and because I was doing that when they were leaving, I'll just take a nap in the chair. It sounds like a great idea.
Okay. So you watch as
Zarian
Zarian just kind of
Alright,
nods off a little bit.
Zarian.
Are you okay?
Sorry, I gently slap the side of Zarian's face.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be like rendered unconscious or anything like that. He just looks like he's laying down for a nap.
Panicking, I will drop 5 points of lay on hands, just in case I think he's poisoned.
Okay.
While this is going on, I instantly go to the corner where I set down that bottle of wine, uncork it, go to the nearest window, pour it all out.
Okay. As you pour it out, being fairly well versed in wines and things like that, there's a little ping in your heart as you smell some of it going out. This is very, very good wine.
Oh,
that you are
I'm tearing
pouring on the
up
ground.
as I do this. This is fucking heartbreaking for me. And I turn around, my face is all red, and all right, that's done.
Yeah, so
I was going to take a look at that, but I think it'd just break your heart now if I said it wasn't.
Lucky,
Well,
as you...
I still have the bottle in my hand. You're welcome to look at it.
What's the point? It'll just break your heart now. We've already confirmed that someone they tried to mess with us.
As you put your hand on him and expend some of your kind of divine healing power, you do detect the presence of a poison in there, but it's not any poison you've ever dealt with. And you'd almost have a hard time classifying it as a poison, but it does react to your lay on hands. And as Lucky does that, you're not quite as tired, but due to the fact you were already kind of getting yourself into that nap mindset, you're still a little bit groggy because someone interrupted you before you got to take your nap. But you don't quite feel the kind of food coma that you were feeling previously.
You okay?
Well, feel like I didn't sleep at all.
How, like,
Are
and
you
again, you only had
good?
you had one slice of bunt cake, right?
Yeah, like a thin slice.
And like the crumbs, I'm like, friggin' Martha!
Well, let me just put this, remind me tomorrow to, bring out my tool for purifying things.
Yeah.
You hear a
These people
knock
are playing
under
dirty.
the door.
Who is it?
It's Martha and Oren. We were wondering if you wanted to join us for breakfast. We have room at our table.
Oh, good, they call it breakfast.
Question. Jody,
Uh-huh.
when we ate at the mess hall, did we have a similar feeling?
No. You were full, but you felt no ill effects from it.
Let's just observe them. Let's pretend to be their friends. And
As of right
just-
now, since you guys haven't told me anything, they were talking through the door. So
Yeah.
you guys haven't opened the door yet.
Yeah, act normal, act normal. Dump out the rest of the bunt cake and
Yellow, and you guys
put
do
it in
it.
a different room. I'm just gonna move it in
Hello?
a different room out of sight of
Yep.
the front door. I'm not gonna.
Are
Maybe
you
we can study it.
awake?
Apologies, some of us are still getting decent. Give us just a couple minutes.
Oh, I should have warned you about the bunt cake. It helps you sleep well. I know the first night here can be a doozy.
oh, she friggin' admitted it.
Oh,
You might feel a little groggy. It'll go away in about 20 minutes. I promise.
I thought magic wasn't a thing here.
Oh, it's not magic. There's a flower, chamomile. I bake it into the cake itself. It helps you to sleep.
That's a friggin' ton of chamomile. Zarian got knocked out from one bite.
Just.
Well, if you want to join us, you can. Otherwise, if you want to stay in there, Orin and I will come back with the food for you if you prefer to eat alone.
We'll be right there.
Oh, okay. We'll just look for us when you come in. We'll be on the east side.
Not a problem there.
And they walk off from your door.
Okay, Reggie, you said that you didn't pick up anything weird out of them, right?
Okay, when I tried like looking at them when they were talking and stuff, they had no tails, no mannerisms, no nothing. Whatever came out of their mouths was completely 100% sincere. And if you
That
know
means Martha believed that was okay.
yeah, exactly.
Chamomile? I've had chamomile. I don't do that.
Okay. All right, we got to start moving this thing here along here.
The silence fighting dirty. We got to do something. We can't. This is.
I wonder if they know who broke in last night. Because is it a coincidence that we got stuff to knock us out and then we get visitors?
No, not.
Or maybe someone
Whoever it was
suggested
then.
Martha make her special bunt cake.
All right. Well, let's just go to breakfast
Yeah.
and not let on that we're suspicious.
Okay.
Anyone that comes into this house, though, they're gonna find out.
All right.
Oh, no.
Well, don't let him in.
I'm gonna walk the island while you guys are at breakfast and say I'm working on a map. Which I'm going to, but
All right.
It looks like we're going to breakfast.
Yeah, let's have brekkie.
I mean,
So you guys-
Lucky will be with me because he doesn't eat. So
So you
Yeah,
guys go
I'm not
into
leaving his side.
the meeting hall, and it's lively. People are chatting. As soon as you walk in, you see Martha and Orin kind of stand up and go, over here.
Wow.
Well, let's not be rude, y'all.
I'll walk
Yeah.
towards them, but I'm like looking around for any people I recognize.
Okay.
All right,
As you're
I'll-
going around, you're not noticing any faces thus far. And as you sit down, you see Martha and Orin there, and there's another couple there. This one much kind of more formally dressed, and they don't seem quite as outgoing. They have kind of more somber looking
Right.
faces. And they go, "Oh, it's so wonderful that you're joining us. It took Orin and I a solid week before we could eat with everyone else. It was just so jarring. I hope the cake was okay. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's
It
just
was more than okay.
Delicious.
good.
Thank you so much.
good,
Oh,
good.
the sweetness was divine.
If you're having any trouble at all getting sleep in this new place, let me know. We have a little herb garden near the silo where I get to grow some of my own things. I'm a little bit of an alchemist, and
As an appreciator of hers myself, I might just take you up on that, Martha.
oh, definitely. You know, if I'm just self-taught, if you may be able to teach me a thing or two, who knows? Oh my, I feel so bad. This is Emily and Chadwick, and they both. Hello. And then Chadwick. Greetings. Wonderful for you to join us here in this town. And then they kind of just really focus on their food. Oh, do you want me to go get you some food? I know sometimes...
No. We'll serve ourselves. Obviously, we need to get used to such a place here, and all you fine people.
We'll just walk right up to the kitchen. Tell them what you want. They'll fill up a plate for you. Okay?
Thank you.
You have been most gracious.
Oh, thank you. We do try. Like I said, we were in your shoes. It's not often that so many people appear at once. Generally, it's one, maybe to two, and they don't recognize each other. The fact that all of you are together means you're very special.
When was the last time a large number of people showed up?
Longer than we've been here. We were the largest group they'd seen in a little while.
If this is so different, why is no one else as surprised or happy to see us as you two are?
Well, it's kind of an unspoken rule that we don't want too many people overwhelming in a new people. So generally we kind of let whomever decides to contact newcomers first be the only one that gets really close with them at first. Again, we don't want to scare you or overwhelm you, so it had been a while since we had helped.
Thank you.
We had helped newcomers, and so we just decided it was our turn. I hope that's okay.
Oh no, it is entirely okay for you to act as impromptu representatives.
Wonderful.
No harm in being neighborly.
Yes, of course. Well, go get your food. It's really is lovely. Please, make sure you get some of the grilled peppers. They are amazing. There's very little bite to them, but they're just so flavorful.
Absolutely, will do. I'll get up and I'll walk towards the food.
And yeah, there's selections of, there's some grilled vegetables, there's some raw veggies, there's some fruits. And then there's baked goods, some sweet, some savory, and then
waffles.
There's not nearly as much meat as there was last night. Most of it is cured, ham and bacon and the like. So you guys are able to fill up your plates and could come back at your leisure. And the other groups are already kind of digging into their food and making just a small talk as you guys could come back down. So, do you have any plans today?
Making the rounds and familiarizing ourselves with the island.
Well, if you'd like, I can give you a tour of the village itself, and if any of you guys will want, if you're thinking about working in the fields, you could come with me, and I can show you the fields and kind of how our work shifts will work, kind of give you an idea of what you might want to do around here.
Thank you for that kind offer. I think today we'll spend our time familiarizing ourselves with the area and maybe meet a few more people just to know. This is where we are now, so we might as well get to know our neighbors.
I mean, we certainly do wish to know what all is here, because there seem to be so many fine things to see. The fields, your temple, that's a mighty fine windmill you got here. I mean, a lot of things to see. I mean, I would have to say I'm calmly excited.
You would notice, as you mentioned, the temple, they both very, very quickly kind of glance at each other and look immediately back at you like nothing happened.
Oh.
Insight check?
Sure.
Can I do my own insight check
Yeah,
on that?
yeah.
Because I was the one they were talking to.
I've got a passive insight of 12. I would also like to. I'm scrutinizing everyone. I'm paranoid, but
Sure. If your passive insight is high enough that if you want to make an insight check, you can, but your
Okay.
passive insight alone wouldn't tell you anything other than.
oh no, I know. It's
they
just like
glanced.
my
Mhm.
pinging on my radar.
I got an 18.
Okay. Owie?
9.
Okay. So yeah, you notice the glance, but beyond that, it might have just been an affectation. Reggie, for you, it was almost imperceptible, but you saw just the slightest hint of fear when they made that glance.
I'm not going to bring attention to it.
Okay.
I'm just going to move on from that subject, and I'm just going to go. I mean, there's all these mighty fine places. Do you have any recommendations of like some noteworthy sightseeing spots here?
Well, you've mentioned the windmill quite a few times. If you've never seen the inside of it, it is an incredible machine. You would have to ask Eden for permission, but generally, as long as you have a meeting set up, they'll let you in. They'll give you a tour of it. It really is an amazing feat of machinery.
We are. That's so curious, considering the lovely people and community you have here. Why do they have guards posted?
Well, with how often new people show up and the fact that we may not be able to trust all of them at first, our sole source of water is that windmill. If someone was to go in and damage the machinery, or gods forbid, actually do something to the water itself, if they tainted the well in some way, we would be in incredible trouble. So it's just, it makes sense to have good, trusted people controlling who can go in, because even just an accident there could cause a lot of hardship, and there's so few here that would even understand that they could repair the windmill, much less have the ability to do it. It's just safer for everyone to control access.
Sure. Yeah.
That is completely understandable. Water is precious.
I remember probably about last season, I want to say it was, Wilhelm got just completely shit-faced to drunk, like off his head, which I've never seen him do it. He had recently become a father, and let's just say wasn't taking it well. And so he gets completely plastered, goes around, and he just is just raving up about just nonsense. Because he had, again, he'd had a bit too much to drink, and he was stressed about his new kid, and his wife was changing because of childbirth, and
what kind of nonsense was he raving about?
I can't even remember. Something about enslavement, or the windmill was oppressing us, or something bonkers like that. But he went over and he took the flagon of ale that he had just finished downing, I think his 7th at that point, and tried to break into the windmill itself to try and sabotage it or something. And the guards were there, and they didn't even have to lay a hand on him. He literally just came up, and as he started banging out, he wore himself out, and they took him back to his home, and it was fine. But yeah, I mean, every so often, living in such a tight-knit community, it can get to you if you're not used to it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we've seen our fair share of wild drunks, have we not? So, totally.
Now, I remember a
Ridiculous.
couple of drunken nights of myself. This is totally relatable. I mean,
Odin.
sometimes you have one too many ales, and sometimes you just get the urge to bash some valuable machinery. It happens.
At this point,
Tales
the other
will
person
sigh.
at the table goes, Orlin, it is time for us to go to work. If you are not going to be guiding them around, they will be expecting you very soon. And he goes, oh, you're right. Excuse me, if you have no need of my services, I need to work my shift in the field.
Oh, sure.
Oh, please do not hold yourselves on our account.
And he kind of turns Martha, and he brings her in close. I love you,
Oh.
and I will
Oh.
see you when I get home. And he plants a kiss on her, and she stops him, and they... I love you as well, Orin, my husband. And I will see you when you return. And then they kind of kiss again, and then they could go off. And you see her just kind of... And she just
Smithwood?
kind of turns closer to Karen. Isn't he wonderful?
Smegwick would like to make a save versus diabetes.
Yes.
Ah,
You fail.
Insulin crash.
how
Diabetic
that
shock.
usually happens when
start seeing
I
stars.
was being cute.
Then you feel really warm.
Yeah, that's so sickeningly sweet that even the 15-year-old Dragonborn felt it.
So they kind of get up, and you see the rest of the people kind of leaving. Everyone except for Eden and the people at the long table. They seem to still be there. They seem to be done with their food, but they seem to be conversing into the things like that.
Are we at the table alone?
Now, yeah. Most of the tavern at this point, or the meeting hall, is empty.
All right, so don't drink the water. Maybe they're
don't
controlling
really have a
everyone
choice.
through the water.
I mean, we can only not drink and eat for so long.
Okay, if that's
Alright,
going to
well-
be the case, then whatever we got to do it quickly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I
It's
kind of lean.
definitely the windmill. We just have to. We've got to.
It might not just be the windmill, and I actually kind of lean in close to everyone.
Eh.
When I was mentioning all the different places that we might drop by, the moment I mentioned the temple here, there was something that I actually noticed between that happy-go-lucky couple of theirs. They quickly glanced at each other as if just mentioning the temple could be like a place to have your limbs chopped off or something. It was just a brief moment where it seemed like mentioning the temple was a bad idea. Something's there.
You pick an awful lot up from a micro expression.
Hey, this is what I do.
So what? I feel like we only have one chance to break in somewhere. So do we split up and try and break into both, or do we prioritize one over the other?
Well,
They
they
s-
said we could literally say that Martha and Orin suggested we ask Eden for an appointment to see the windmill.
Yes, that's right. Let's see the windmill first.
Because that's not playing our hand if we say that
No.
they suggested we ask about
Right.
it.
Yes. As a good activity to get to know the town.
So do you guys want to head over to Eden right now?
Yeah, see if we can make an appointment.
So
Yeah.
as you will walk up to the dais, we will come back to you in just a second. Lucky and Caesarian, where in the town do you guys want to wander?
I was going to follow the roads and draw out the roads, and if anyone asks, I would say this is how I get acquainted with new places.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't go into detail with buildings. I would just put like basic squares and the kind of shape that they're in. I wouldn't go into detail. I'm mainly focusing on the roads. The only places I will detail would be the tavern, the temple, and the windmill.
Okay. So yeah, you don't really have too much trouble. You have a few people that walk by and they kind of wave at you. Some of them, the rest just kind of like smile at you. to like acknowledge you're there, but they don't really interact. And yeah, you're able to make a pretty decent map of the roads. And I will have you roll me just a flat intelligence check.
And while I'm walking with him, I'm keeping an eagle eye out, making sure those cloaks don't come back. Or,
is this? Oh, sorry. Is this for the map or?
This is technically architectural knowledge. So.
Okay, so it's not tool based. So I don't have anything to add. Okay, so it's just 23 total.
23 total. Okay. So before we do that, Lucky, was there other things you were looking for?
I was gonna say I wanted to try and keep an eye out on guards, but honestly, he's not that intelligent enough to know that. So I would just be watching for immediate danger.
Okay. So yeah, nothing kind of piques your interest as dangerous as you're walking around. Even the people, you don't even get this slight danger sense you get when meeting new people that when you see them. Everyone seems very nice. With a 23, you get this same kind of feeling that Smegwicka had, that the windmill itself must go down at least a good 50 to 100 feet beneath the ground in order to support such a tall structure, which the base is larger than your house, but it's 200 feet tall. Like, it's got to be dug in pretty far. However, the most interesting thing you find out is the temple itself is the other tallest building. It's only about 50-60 feet to the tall, but it's still taller than anything else on the island other than the windmill. And it's built on a slab of what looks like marble. And you haven't seen marble anywhere else. This is in here. And it seems like it goes down underneath the ground level as well, though with how large the base is, it doesn't need to.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that when I picked up on that.
All right, yeah. Everything else on my map would just be vague boxes.
So yeah, going back to the party, as you guys approach the dais, Eden notices you before the guards do, and she kind of waves them off and goes, "Hello. It's great to see you eating with us so quickly. It normally takes people much longer to acclimate to the environment. So, did you have other questions for me?"
Well, we were certainly interested in basically this fine town, and it's basically a small wonder of it being here. We were informed, Martha and Oren were so nice enough when they were suggesting various things. They made it a point of suggesting that if we were interested in that fine edifice of that windmill over there, we'd need to talk to you about making an appointment to see a tour of the facilities, as it were.
Yes, you can talk to me. If you wanted, you could have talked to the guards as well, though most of them will have you wait until a shift change or something like that. Having an official come with you, we can just wander in if you'd like the full tour. We can go now if you would like.
I think if we'd like to also see about, we want to wait for Lucky and Zarian.
Not a problem. I have an office at the temple. If you come to the front doors and ask one of the acolytes that are there, they can get me and I'll take you over. Okay? Unfortunately, I do have some work to do. So.
Of course, town official, all that.
Of course, I will see you then later today.
Great.
Wonderful. And she kind of wanders off, and the rest of the officials kind of leave as well. And you're now in a mostly empty tavern. The kitchen staff is still there, and they seem to be prepping for lunch service. A few of them have kind of sat down at one of the tables and are just eating because they haven't eaten yet.
I figure we go back to the house, wait for Lucky and Zarian, and
Yeah.
Okay. As you're going out, Karen, make me another perception check.
That's a 3.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys are going out, you're still a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's going on, but you're able to make it back to your house without too much trouble. And within about 15 minutes, Zarian and Lucky return as well with their map.
Should we act more afraid? Everyone seems just so surprised we're acclimating so quickly. Should we not?
Well, we're inquisitive about our surroundings. I suppose it's another way we just look at it and present ourselves.
You show more than 2 emotions, so that's probably what's scaring them.
Well, they just say that when most people get here, they stay to themselves more often, so I don't want to put up a red flag of anyone's because we are bolder.
Well, we've tried saying to ourselves, and we got friggin' rewarded with a late night break-in.
True.
I
Well,
think
I
we
mean-
just play up being friendly, and inquisitive. Because I don't want to be here any more than I have to. These people stole our magic.
My weapons.
Yeah.
We also need to find out where Wilhelm is.
Who?
Wilhelm. The guy that Oren told us about. Got drunk, started raving about enslavement.
Oh.
Something tells me he's probably not around anymore, or not in a chatty sort of place.
So we're checking out just to see how if he's way too happy or not, or if he is, like you say, not around anymore.
Yeah, but maybe do that one sneakily. Probably asking about him is not the best.
Oh, not directly, yeah.
Great.
Well.
So to the wind, or we have to go to the temple first.
And Lucky get back, go to the temple, ask Eden or some other official for a tour.
Oh, we're already back. You said it was like 15 minutes and we
Yeah.
walked in, so.
So you guys are all back together. So you want to head over to the temple, or where do you want to go?
well, if we need a full tour, do we need? We said the Eden said we need an official, correct?
Well, I think if that way we get to kind of get a closer look at the temple anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys wander over to the temple itself, the first thing you notice about the temple is it is massive and immaculate. The doors in the front are 40 foot tall. Each door is or the doors themselves are about 10 foot wide, so these massive double doors. And they're left open a little bit. As you come up, you can see an acolyte standing at the front of the temple. And as she sees you, she goes, "May the island give you its blessings. What can I do for you?"
We were informed by Eden that if we should wish to take a full tour of the windmill, we should speak to either her or some other official to perhaps escort us around.
Of course. Eden is currently in her cell meditating. I'll send someone to go get her. While you're here, do you like to do the tour of the temple
While we're
itself?
waiting, why not, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would be more than happy to do that. If you excuse me for one moment while I get someone to replace me. By the way, my name is Evening Star.
My alarm hasn't gone off at all today, has it?
Not that you're aware of.
Okay.
Again, it only goes off if someone other than you guys go through the front to the door.
Yeah, as long as I'm within a mile. I don't know the radius of this entire
Yeah,
island, so.
you're close enough. Yeah, nothing has happened that you're aware of. So she kind of disappears, and you see the woman that was at the table before kind of comes up and just kind of stands there. She nods at you and stands very stoically where Evening Star had been previously. Then Evening Star comes back. Well, if you'll join me.
Righto.
And as you come in, the first thing you notice are these 12 massive pillars. They go the full length all the way up to the vaulted ceiling. They're about 10 feet on a side. They're just these huge things. And the acoustics in here are incredible. Even a whisper echoes for hours.
That's why I didn't whisper anything. I figured this place like a whisper chamber.
And as she comes in, well, this is... The room has an official name, but everyone just calls it the Echo Hall because... Watch. Hello! Hello, 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 hello. So
impressive.
Here. This is where many people come to make their contemplations and to just really connect with themselves and the island. Oh, it's a lovely place to just reflect.
Oh wow, my violin would sound amazing in here.
Oh, we don't allow music in the Echo Hall. The echoes tend to cause issues. It's very, very difficult to keep a beat because once you start a beat, it will echo and distort, and it's very difficult to figure out where the downbeat is anymore. We used to have people that tried to have performances in here, but the chapel itself is just so much better for that.
I'll, do you mind? And I'll pull out some parchment. I kind of like to draw the surroundings.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Actually, if you're interested in drawings, let me show you something I think you're going to really enjoy.
And I'll start sketching out the layout of this church.
Okay. And
Temple.
she brings you to the northern wing. As you walk in, you are almost assaulted with the smell of tomes. There are books upon books upon books. This particular room is 2 stories tall, and there are ladders that could go around to get to the higher books. It is just a treasure trove of knowledge. This is our library, and it's so wonderful. For you personally, that section over there, and she points to the northeastern corner, is a collection of artwork made by people that live in this very town. There are maps of the village and of the island. There are portraits of various people and oh, it's just lovely. You will definitely want to look at it.
Are books allowed to leave, or do they have to stay here?
Generally, we don't allow too many to leave, just because we don't want them exposed to the elements. But if you do have a specific one you'd like to read at home, we can place an enchantment on it that will keep the elements at bay for 24 hours, and we just ask that you return it before the enchantment wears off. Okay?
Because of Smegwick's background, I was wondering, is there like if I do like a cursory examination of like what this temple library has to offer?
It has a lot of books. A lot of them are not labeled. So if you wanted to peruse things, you could probably figure out their organizational system within an hour or so. But because most of it is unlabeled, you would have to actually go and open books and read little bits of them to figure out exactly what is in this library.
I would like to go to one where she pointed out with the maps, and just, I don't know if it works here, but with my keen mind, just try and memorize one of the maps someone else drew to see if there's any differences in the one I drew.
Yeah, definitely. So as you look at the maps, you notice some of them are a little more almost architectural, where they have measurements and things, like they're very, very accurate. And then there are others that are much more artistic, where they'll have a lot more colors on them, and things like the windmill will be much larger than it actually is, and the houses will be much smaller, or sometimes there are a few that have, like, veil creatures coming out of the veil around it, and much more kind of artistic depictions. But looking through a few of them, you've got a pretty rock solid map in your head now of this whole little island.
I figure I'd be standing like right at the door, right here, and I would like to burn a divine sense to see if I get the same feeling underground, under the temple, that I get from what we got under our house.
And how far does it go? It's
60 feet.
60 feet. Oh, 60.
I think we might have lost. Okay, you cut out there for a second.
No, I was counting. As you you do feel beneath you that same sense of something wrong, but to the east of you as well, it's not quite a desecration, but there is something wrong in the room to the east.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. I'll keep that to myself for the time being.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to stay here and peruse, but I think we want that tour.
Yes, let me show you the meditation cells, okay?
Sure.
All right.
She takes you to the south. And as you get down there, you see just this very long hallway of nothing but doors. These are our meditation cells. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you can come here and go in one of the cells and just kind of focus on your self.
May I ask why they're called cells? Isn't that usually prisons?
Interesting for the fact, the term cell was actually a term used by the monastery long before it was adapted for prisons. Cells are always what monks and the nuns and the like have called their rooms. They just call them cells. And so, as much as a lot of people think cell, they think of a prison because they don't deal with monastery life. The word cell was actually used by the temples hundreds of years before prisons started using them.
Learn something new every day.
Fun fact, that is a true statement in actual history. Cells were used by monasteries long before they were used. The term was used by prisons. So,
Well, second question, who would feel overwhelmed in such a wonderful community such as this?
oh, everyone has their bad days, and sometimes it's just nice to kind of cut yourself off from everyone and just be alone with your own thoughts and the loving spirit of the island. Would you like to see one of the cells? They're
Oh, I'm not feeling particularly overwhelmed right now.
oh they're very plain. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just, again, it's a place where you can center yourself. As you're speaking, you hear one of the cell doors open, and you watch Eden come out. Oh, wonderful! I wasn't sure how soon you would be back, and I felt the need to commune. Thank you, Evening Star. If you would like to return to your post, I will continue the tour for them.
Jody, I have a question.
Sure.
Which cell did Eden come out of?
She came out of the furthest. Oh, it helps if I have the right pointer. She came out of the furthest to the west, on the northern side of the room. So, the way down there.
I would have done the same thing on the side as the other side, just burn another divine sense just to get both sides covered.
Okay.
It's
As you
the
do
same
that,
thing.
you recoil.
What does divine sense do? Sorry, I'm not familiar with that.
I could detect good and evil. I detect things that are affected by a hallowed spell, and I can detect celestials, fiends, and dead within 60 feet, as long as they're not behind total cover.
Yeah. Effectively, it'll let him know if there's like hallowed or like sanctified or desecrated land around them, and he can use it.
Desecrated just means like blessed.
Desecrated is the opposite of sanctified. So sanctified is
okay,
holy.
sorry, yeah.
Desecrated is unholy.
Got it.
So, this whole room is bad. And again, about 20, 30 feet down, there's definitely something wrong, but this room itself is just bad. Your skin crawls instantly. And for someone with metallic skin, that's a weird experience.
I would probably start absentmindedly kind of backing out of the room, not even aware that I'm doing it.
Where are we in the cell? Where are we?
You guys
Like
are
in the
basically right here. You know.
Okay.
You're where you can see down the hallway and...
Okay.
Well, what has she shown you so far? I hope you've had a chance to look through the library. It's lovely.
Yes, that's what we saw first.
Oh, good.
At some point, I may have to come back and check that out.
Oh, it certainly is wonderful. Depending on where you decide you best fit in our society, you may be able to spend a lot more time in the library.
Casually in the background, drawing all of the cells, drawing the layout.
And Eden kind of notices, oh, are you an artist?
Of sorts.
Oh, that's lovely. We've not had an artist to join us in a very long time. Again, what you decide to do to be a part of this community is entirely up to you, but having another artist would be so wonderful.
Just go back to drawing. I'm in my mode.
Well, you've seen the areas that are open to the public. I can take you to the chapel, but unfortunately, we do not allow anyone who has not taken vows to enter the chapel. It is our holiest place.
If I might ask, dear miss, what are these vows that you speak of?
Well, we, as you live here a little longer, you will start to appreciate just the sheer power and love that the island has for all of us. And if you agree to give thanks for that love and to worship it and respect it as you should any sufficiently powerful being. You can join us when we will worship and provide our thanks every week. Again, it isn't entirely optional, so some people immediately to take their vows and join us within weeks of being here. Others have been here for years and have never taken their vows. It is entirely a personal choice that we would never impose on anyone. Well, do you have any questions, or would you like to go see the windmill?
I mean, it fascinates me.
Yeah, let's go. If it's half as fascinating as this, there will be a day well spent.
I concur.
Wonderful. Okay, then. Okay. She takes you guys back out and brings you over to the windmill itself. As she gets there, the guards kind of greet her, and she just kind of nods and opens the reinforced wooden and iron door and kind of gestures for you to go in.
Can I look around the entrance to see if there are any like glyphs or sigils?
Sure. Make me an Arcana check.
22.
Yeah. You look around. There's nothing. No glyphs, no sigils, seals that you can tell.
I'll just play it off like I'm going to start sketching the inside of the windmill. If she stops me, then I'll stop drawing.
Okay. So as you guys come in, the first thing you notice is a temperature drop. It goes from kind of pleasantly warm to a little bit chilly, and you can feel moisture in the air. The other thing you notice is the sound of water and the scent of the scent of helps if I spell it correctly. Sorry, I'm doing three things at once here. The scent of like water vapor in the air.
Do we see a source of the water, or is it just like a collected pool, not like a stream or anything?
You see in the kind of center of the windmill itself is a massive cistern. Full of water that's kind of rushing around and swirling as you see this giant metal kind of rod that goes down that seems to be bringing up water from somewhere very, very deep. Looking around the windmill itself, you can see stairs that go up, kind of circling all the way up. You can see higher up there are like offices or something in here that are built in much just higher. And you do see an area kind of cut out of the stone where people can draw water itself. And it seems on the far side of on the far wall there is a pump on the other side where if somebody needs to go get water, they can go and just pump a little bit for themselves.
I will, if again they allow me, just kind of do a thorough, make it look like I'm trying to get detail, but I'm also going to be looking for any semblance of what would look like a secret door.
Sure, make me an investigation to check.
20, not natural.
Okay. Looking around, it's a bit chaotic in here, so being able to find anything is a little bit rough. However, you do notice one of these storage shelves near the northwest wall has scuff marks on the floor near the base of the shelf. Or shelving unit.
I won't include that in my drawing. I'll just make a note of it.
Okay.
Hey Jody, just wanted to bring your attention to a message that I posted in Roll20.
Yep. Yeah, and with it being about that time, that is where we're going to end it for tonight. As always, if you enjoyed this, please, and you missed any of this, but please, you can, I upload all these to my YouTube channel on Sundays. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. Otherwise, feel free to follow the channel. I do run D&D games every Wednesday night here. And yeah, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.